My introduction to North Harbour water polo was through the tragic circumstances of Rowan Brown's death here in the Millennium Pool on the 23rd of January in 2020. It is a day I remember really quite well. I got this call 9 o'clock in the morning, and he said, well, there's been a death in the pool at Millennium, and there's going to be a meeting at 10 o'clock. They would like to have a sports chaplain there. Yeah, I really didn't know where I was going. I parked the car. It was about 2 minutes to 10 o'clock. But I hurried across. I didn't know where the meeting was. I didn't know who I was going to be meeting. I didn't know what was going on. And just got directed upstairs to the Olympic room. There Mike Stanley met me and shook my hand, and I said, hi, I'm Matt, I'm the sports chaplain. He invited me into the room and we sat down. I think I was there at about 10:05. That was the start. Mike introduced me. Part of his introduction was, yeah, Matt's from sports chaplaincy. Today at 4 o'clock we're going to have a blessing of the pool, and Matt's going to lead that blessing. I've never done that in my life. As I say, I didn't really know anything, and I just started to ask the lifeguards, well, can you tell me a little bit about Rowan? Here was a young man who was a New Zealand representative, 19-year-old, who had earned his first caps for New Zealand the previous year. They said that he was always a polite, thankful player who would just come in and thank them for just their presence as lifeguards. Started to get this picture of a young man who was a much loved member of their community, and this was absolutely devastating for them. Sharon and Julie from North Harbour Water Polo came into the meeting as well, and I asked Sharon what she was hoping the blessing would look like. She talked about how the pool had gone from being a place where they practiced and played and competed in, a safe place, to being a place where their good friend had died in, and so it was no longer a sort of safe place, and it wasn't a place where they wanted to come back to.
The pool we closed, obviously, and kept it closed that day, and yeah, there wasn't a great feeling about that pool. It was just huge sadness and grief, and we're just working really hard to do what we could to support people coming in, kids that were coming in, the club.
We had to then support our team that were here on hand, and then it was the messaging from there to the rest of our community and staff as to moving forwards.
So I came back to the Millennium Institute before 4 o'clock, and I started this blessing of the pool. There was a bulwark across the middle of the pool, and that's where I was standing. The pool was completely encircled with members of, as I say, the police community, water polo community, Rangitoto College, AUT community. Started out by saying that 24 hours earlier, none of us expected to be here. This pool was a place where there was laughter, and there were people enjoying themselves, and that this was a place of community. Today, 24 hours on, this is now a place where we don't want to be. And this place is now a dark place for us. Tried to express that that's normal and understandable. My own personal background in terms of sport is I played water polo, and one of the exercises that we would do to maintain our fitness and our technique was what's called the egg beater. And the egg beater is where you've got your both hands up in the air, and you're trying to keep yourself afloat with your legs working solidly in an egg beater motion below the waterline. And the coach would say, just keep your arms up, keep your arms up, and eventually your whole body starts to ache and cry out in pain because of the intensity of this workout. And just said that this is going to feel like that. That this is a time where you will be putting your arms up, and you'll be working so hard and it'll be so painful and you want to stop, but a little bit like the coach saying, keep your arms up, it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt for a while. The pool will be closed for the next couple of days, and that when it reopens, we need to return it to a place which is a place of competition, a place of friendship, a place of community. And that really, when we come here, that we actually are remembering Rowan, because this is a place that he actually trained in. He loved this pool, he loved being here. This was where his community was so strongly based.
Certainly after the blessing it was a bit of lightness around it, and Matt talked about it being silent during the blessing, but that we wanted kids to come in and be in the water again and enjoy their sport and be together and play together and compete together, and which really almost I think gave everyone permission that they could come back, get back in the pool, play water polo, and that was okay for them to do that. And though it would be hard, that they could enjoy it again. So yeah, definitely for us, I think it helped our team, the AUT Millennium team, feel that it was okay again, and certainly for the water polo players to make them feel it was okay to get back in. Yeah, what he did was very special.
The blessing was a space where it seemed that God entered and brought peace and a place for healing. I see the Imago Day every day that I'm here. I see a community that loves each other. I see a community that is seeking to redeem a very difficult and tragic experience, a time of complete suffering, and one that is so hard, and yet they're creating meaning from it. Tomorrow there's this Rowan Brown tournament for under 12-year-olds, and it's about celebrating just community, and it's about celebrating Rowan's life, but also the values that Rowan brought. So I see the redemptive story, I see God's story in this community, and that's one of the highlights for me, and is so significant to me about being a sports chaplain. I get to see the Imago Day every day in people, whether they are religious people or whether they're not religious people. At the core of being a sports chaplain is a relationship, a dynamic relationship with Jesus Christ, because when we're in that sports environment, what we're actually bringing is the love of Christ. We're being His hands, His feet into the sports community. That sports community may only ever experience the tangible reality of Jesus Christ through the sports chaplain.
Salvation Army chaplaincy is something that can take place in a diverse range of spaces. The sports environment at every level is part of that. Some of us within the Salvation Army may feel called to serve in the sports community and to make a difference in this space. There is opportunity for this. If you're interested in sports chaplaincy, check out their website at www.sportschaplaincy.co.nz. If you'd like to know more about the Salvation Army chaplaincy, email chaplaincy.service@salvationarmy.org.nz. Mā te atua e manaki.